Okay. We'll start the Mishnah. Yeah. And when we have time, we'll go back.
Yeah.
That's what we'll do it. Maybe yet, maybe Dinas Hayam, Vom Befone Nechtav. Over the Oma Befone Nechtam. Okay? So he is testing to the fact that it was written Lishmo, but that it was signed before him, not Befone Nechtam, Avolo Befone Nechtav. Befone Nechtav Kulo, Befone Nechtam Chetzio. He said it was all written in front of him, but the Chsimo Chetzio. Befone Nechtav Chetzio, Befone Nechtam Kulo. Posul. Because since he didn't say it as he was meant to say it, it's posul.
It's strange because we had Rabbi Elazar earlier in Vav where it said if we could assume that if he started it, he didn't have to be there for the whole of the writing.
The question was Chetzio.
It must be
So
the end.
No. So Tosaf there explains. The Chetzio is talking about not the essential part of the shtar. Not these. No.
There were 3 parts of it.
Now we're according to Rabbi Elazar, the main thing is what is the Harayat Muteris L'chol Odom. You permit it and the names.
Right. So that's
It was the Tofus. The Tofus is not good enough. It's the non-essential that you don't even have to do Lishmo. It's the part that you don't have to do Lishmo.
But didn't we have a principle that if he started it... And
If he start but it has to be the essential part of the get.
Okay, but that... Okay.
Tos over there addresses this point. Echer Ome B'fonei Nechtav would say one person. V'echram B'fonei Nechtam. Posul. Right? Because you have to have the same person saying both. Shnaim Omrim B'foneinu Nechtav. 2 say it was written in our presence, so that's bona fide edus. V'echram B'fonei Nechtam Posul. That's a chiddush, right? Why? Because it should be no worse. 2 other people say, so that's fully taken care of. So if one says Fonei Nechtam, it should be good. Because you have little full-blown edus on the ksiva. But he Rabbi Yehuda Marshe for that reason. Rabbi Yehuda says, why should it be possible? You have bona fide edus on the ksiva, and it's still worse than now you have one on the shlich on the chsima. Echrom b'fonei nechtav, v'echrom b'foneinu nechtam. Oh, kosher. Now you have to understand. One says nechtav, and 2 say nechtam. It's kosher. Now why is it kosher? So here you have what? Edim sun l'kaimo. See, you address that. Let's take a look at Rashi. It's enough time. Maybe get b'fonei nechtam chetzio, echad min edim. Right? Echad b'fonei nechtav, echad yeah, posul, o shaget, ik shaget, yotzim tachas yidei, echad shumei vio. One's bring it, v'ein chaveru shliach bavoso. Yeah, the other one's not a shliach. Mishamochi posul, shliach atzur rabona lemimra l'tarvayu. If you're a shliach, you have to say both. And even if you said the both shluchim, filochi, posul, came in the chad hu dika chasimo. There's slow. Came on the ika. There's only one on the chasima. V'yu lo maser aksiva. The shlich is supposed to test to both. Os lachlufi became shtor as the almo. Beirechot. Right. The Gemara says before. Can Aminu per kamen. According to Gemara says going to Rava 80 because 80 mitzulakaima. What do you have to address the ksiva? Because we're concerned it'll be confused. So with regular kim shtoros. Shnaim omrim b'foneinu nechtav. V'echad shlishi. 3rd party. Possible b'shemai time. Rabbi Yehuda Marshe came to Matzchin la'sudina me'aksiva. O hu o acher. So we'll also lachlufe. Since over here the ksiva is being addressed, you're not going to confuse it. So therefore, if the shlich, even though the shlich is, what's the whole idea? We're considered will get confused. But if you have 2 people testifying to the ksiva, and the shliach is testifying to the chesima, it's not going to be confused because normally you never speak about the writing. Therefore, Rabbi Yehuda's Marshe, B'var Mamrina, and the Cholok Rabbi Yehuda Apri Shona, Echrom b'fonei nechtav, the same thing. V'echrom b'fonei nechtam, Echrom b'fonei nechtam, U'shnaim om b'foneinu nechtam. One speaks about the ksiva, one speaks about the chesima. Gemara Mforishla. So Mar asks, Hasu Lomali. What do we need this mission to address? What we're saying, Hotonalei ha'uchado. Maybe give these right? That's what it says. So over here, if it wasn't said correctly, it's possible. So what does the Mishnah tell me? It's possible. May have a mino tzorich. I'd say tzorich, but who says it's possible? Vilo amakosher kamash malon. So this Mishnah is coming to elucidate the first Mishnah. It says the first Mishnah tzorich, and if you don't, it's possible. Okay. B'fonei necht of chetzio, b'fonei nechtam kulo posel. Now the Gemara asks this question, which David brought up. Which half is he testifying to? In my presence, half it was written. Hai chetzio, ilem chetzio rishon. This is the question we said earlier. If you address the first line, that's it. We say the presumption is the whole thing was written lishmo, right? See, he doesn't know what the kavon was in the beginning. We don't say the end is megala in the beginning. Just because you see lishma at the end, maybe at first he started, his mind was elsewhere. But if with the chetzio rishon, then it's kosher. It's chetzio achron. Rashi, Shita achas, Shita rishona shabo Hashemu ish v'ishu v'azman. Right? So if that was written Lishma, it goes all the way.
Just a question, Rabbi. When they sign on the document, where is it signed? On the bottom or in the middle or in the top?
The end.
It's always signed.
Always on the bottom.
Okay.
But there's usually a summary at the end, correct?
B'fonei nechtav kulo. U'b'fonei nechtav chetzio posel. Amar Rav Chisda afilu. Now, he says it was written in my presence, totally, but the nechtam chetzio only half. One signature he's testifying about, posel, right? Because he has to testify about both signatures. Amar Rav Chisda afilu shnai meidim al chasimus yad sheni. Even if you have two witnesses, the shliach is only testifying one, and you have two on the other. It's posel. My timer. Ikulo b'kiyum aget or kul b'takros chacham manavshach. If you want to substantiate something, you have to have witnesses. The witness is only speaking about one, the other. Mm-hmm. And if you want to deal with the leniency, you have to do what the Chacham said. He has to testify regarding both signatures. So since it's not either, therefore it's possible. Maskler Rav Bika Midi Di Loma Chat Kosher Hashdika Trey Posel doesn't make any sense logically. If the kula isn't in the one is believed. But if you have two on the other, why should you? Bika Midi Chat Kosher Hashed Trey Posel Elama Rova Afilu Hu. Hear this? If he, together with somebody else, is testifying about chasimus yad sheni, so you have two. You have two on one and two on the other. My taimo. What's the reason? Oslachlut vikim shtoros. Hashlich v'achem in hashuk imo v'imlo yimeid oleo el hashlich levado afilu oma yodei ani hoye kosher. Hear this? Let's say the person himself. The person, the shlich himself, is testifying to the second one, not only the first, the second.
Right.
You have two on one, and he's testifying with the second one. If the other party didn't accompany him, would be kosher. Now that he has a person, also that messes it up. Why? He says, "Hu va'acher hashliach v'achem in hashuk imo v'imlo yimeid oleo el hashliach levado." If the shlich himself would testify about that signature, afilo me yodei ani hoye kosher. Aval achshav shoye acher imo posel. Why? But now that he has somebody else accompanying him, it's possible. Let's say two people signed a shtar. One of the people signed died. And one witness said, "This is my signature." 1 second. That it's not valid. Why? The one who testifies his own signature cannot testify for the other one. You need two independent parties. Yeah, why? It's very simple. One person testified, this is my signature is mine. Signature B is my friend's, and they have another party. Now, the Torah says, Al Pishnai Medim Yokum Dover. After everything's said and done, right? If he's testifying on two, his and the others, normally he's believed on his own. Let's say it would be the two of them. This is my signature, this is my friend's signature. So how much, when you collect the money, how much money are you collecting? Based on each one's to say so, 50%. Okay. But if he says on his own, and he says in conjunction with others, so 3/4 of the money is coming back through an Eid Echad. Right. That's the reason why it's possible. Okay? The kaimel nemer odom lomar zeksav yodi hari chatzeedus v'imboad litztarf lohoyid al chosim echavero im acher hari gimu revoy seedus al piv 3/4 of the testimony is coming through one brachman om al pi shnayim. It says comes through testimony of two. Demashem palga puma dehai or palga puma dehai. 50% is based on one's testimony. 50% is based on the other testimony. The gabi get nami omar per fonei necht of chetzio nehemin.
Right.
Kitrei. When he says 50% was signed up in my presence, he's believed. Why? The shliach who, Torah says, because the shliach is like two. Ubechetzi hasheni hu mitzaref imacher. So it comes out 3/4 of testimony. L'kaim b'Torah. But so how was he being mekayim at the other now? Not as a shliach, as a witness. So it comes, but as a witness, what do he's bringing about 3/4. We're going to confuse this with regular kim shtoros. V'ocha gabi get lo chayshina lo. Dablav hai acher havi miskasha pumi deim nu rabbanu kitrei. If it only be him on both, get is different because he's testifying on the ksiva. But over here, if you're addressing the second signature as edus, elo mishum d'gzer shtar shtorisu, so it's naki riva mamono kol hamomi yotza al pi choser rivia. Therefore, we invalidated. Okay, let's get back over here.
Do we ever look at it like this, that one person's taking 50%?
Yeah, that's the Mark Subis, yes.
That's ketubas.
Masker Ravashi.
It's a strange way of looking at it.
Mi'iko midi di'ilu masikle iu l'kulei dibura. Kosher. He says, doesn't make sense. You say, if he would say on the first one, correct? On both. Not a problem. Now that there's a second person joining with him on the second, which is not needed. It's not needed, the second one.
Right.
What, we're going to pass the star?
Right.
What, we're going to say Kolomosov Gorea? Because you have the additional one, that's going to invalidate it. Hashti gechad badei posul. He says, Miko midi di l'masikle ilu l'kulei duburo, if it would be all himself kosher. Now that you have somebody accompanying badei posul, that's a reason to validate it. It's illogical. It's not so illogical.
Better.
It's not so illogical.
It should be better.
Because if your concern is people, they don't understand. It's going to be confused with something else. They'll say, factually, 3/4. So he's saying, Ravash is saying, if 100% is good, so 3/4 is not going to be good. Elom Ravashi afilo omer anihu eicheni. Anihu eicheni posul. Let's say the shlich says, I am the second aid. We said earlier, shlich nasa aid.
Okay.
Right? Let's say the shlich says, this is my friend's signature, and the second signature is my signature. That's what he says. Afilo ani hu eit sheni posul. My time, O kula b'kim aget, o kula b'takros chachomim. Because again, when he testifies about the second signature, this is regular kiyum. It's not kiyum. You understand? Because then how do you join him? The first one is based on the leniency, and the second one he's believed like regular kiyum shtoros. Okay? Tanan. B'fonei nechtav kulo. The shlich says it was written all in my presence. B'fonei nechtam chetzio. Right? Posul. Now one is the second if he didn't see. Either chetzio. So what happened with the second signature? The second signature, what is it? Is nobody's testifying about the signature whatsoever. We said, if one says, the other one says, it's possible, right? So, boys, you have to tell me that what? That there's only one test, if nobody's testifying on the other signature, it's going to be kosher. Ella, Ravashi, Lafuk Rav Chizdo. It's either like what? Like Rav Ravashi. Yeah. Yeah. Rashi. Let's see, Rashi. El lava koch mishno yisera dektoni rusos lashmini ma'id lashmini be'echrom fani nech ve'echrom fani nech ve'echi domid. Chetzu hasheni yesh edus kidurova Rav Lafuk Rav Chizdo came in the maslis mishum rusos lo pirush rusos lashmini al koch yato rashoy litvo samrubo Rav Chizdo busa churasko Rav Rav v'dholam Hashem yeri. Okay. 1 second. There you go. According to Ravashi, he said the second signature is his signature. Why do I invalidate it? Because it's either A or B. You can't combine them. Rava said, what was Pshat? Rava said, there you go. Yeah. Afilu hu achimidim. Meaning the two on the second signature, right? First signature is it's mine. The second one, it's him with someone else. So again, the same thing. We're concerned about Osilachul Kim Shtoros, because since the second signature is what? Is 2, and the first is 1, therefore we're concerned. Okay?
So still don't know why you couldn't derive it out. We want to understand why we need this, why we need the Mishnah to state this case.
No, we have two on both. This is big. He testifies about one,
So he's like
and the
two.
second one, you have two on the second. Two on the second. Not he's one of the two. He's not one of the two.
Don't we say his
One second.
witness is like 100 witnesses?
Nobody's only testified in one signature.
But
Yeah, but it's still a takona.
it's still...
It's a takona. Okay? Omelach Rav Chizl Tamech, he says, in according to what you were explaining it. B'fonei nechtav, avalot b'fonei nechtav. What do you need the case? He says, it was written in my presence, it wasn't signed in my presence.
Okay.
Elo lo zuav zuktoni. The answer is, not only this case, even that. Hochanami lo zuav zuktoni. Okay.
But really, you would only need two of the three cases.
Right,
You could
right.
always derive a
It's
third- you could always derive a
it's
third
just a
one.
methodology of presentation. That's all it is. Rav Chizda. Oh, now it's interesting. Now, a mechitza is what? A mechitza is 10 tvachim.
Yeah.
What about if you have subterranean 5 and up above terrain you have a hole dug 5 tvachim down, and on the edge of the hole you have a wall 5 tvachim? Do I combine what's below with what's above to create 10? Okay, so that's it. Gidut chamisha mechitza chamisha. What was dug into the ground is 5 tvachim, and what's above the ground is 5 tvachim. Okay.
Is this Tfachim, is this Durabanan, or is this Halachim Mishpasina?
This is Gzer Sakosov. Halacha Mishmasinai.
I know, but get is...
No, it has nothing to do with this.
No.
Wait 1 second.
We're trying to...
This has nothing to do with get right now.
understand.
If you want to establish a reshus to establish reshus, you have to have 10. You have to have a mechitza of 10 tvachim.
Correct.
Okay.
That's Halachim Mishpasina.
That's halacha Mishinai.
Right.
Okay, good. So now the question is, what's a
Where do you
mechitza?
measure from?
What's a mechitza?
Ten.
So 10 is a mechitza. Now, could you combine what's subterranean with what's above? That's what he's saying.
Okay.
Omer Rav Chizda, gidut chamisha mechitza chamisha. A mitzdarfim. You don't combine them. Achie okulam b'mechitza, okulam b'gidut. If you have 10 dug into the ground and the 4 tvachim between the walls, that's Rosh Hashanah. Throw something in there, it's Rosh Hashanah. But if you have 5 down and 5 up, that's not. It's not. Dosh Rav Meimar. Rav Meimar went and lectured, so that's Rav Chizda. Gidul chamisha, umechitza heit mitzdarfin. They do mitzdarf. Why not? I mean, even though from the outside you're not able to see the mechitza, but what, you're not mixing dough right now, right? What's the argument? The argument is when you see a mechitza, do you have to see from the outside, not only from the inside? If it's gidut chamisha and mechitza chamisha, where do you see the mechitza from? On the inside.
Right.
If you're standing in the pit, then you see 10. If you're standing outside, what do you see? You see 5. But if you say it's irrelevant what you see, it's factually the bore is being circumscribed with a mechitza of 10, you do have that. Because from the floor of the pit up, how much do you have? You have a wall of 10. V'ilsa mitzdarfim, we rule it is mitzdarif. Even though from the outside you're not able to see the mechitza.
How do we know that? We don't know.
They're arguing what the halach mishpasina
I
is.
understand.
Let's take a look in
I mean, we
Tosaf.
do see certain things with Mastarif. Like in Sukkah, we will Mastarif certain novel concepts like lavud and...
It's different.
No, but there you need doesn't the Gemara say Lachem Moish Pesina that you are allowed to combine certain things? Normally you wouldn't combine chidush kind of ideas, right?
It's not simple. This is a famous run in Sukkah that you don't. If you say dofen akuma,
Right.
you don't say lovud.
Yeah, all
Right.
You go right up from the bottom.
No, that's not dofen akuma. No, that's not dofen akuma. Dofen is the bent wall.
right.
Oh, what's the one that goes
That's
straight
Godasik.
Oh, good.
Asik.
It's Godasik. Godasik, we do say, what's it called? You do move it over to attach it if it's within 3 tefachim. But if you dofen akuma,
That's a bent wall.
so then, and now you want to attach it to schach. Let's say you say dofen akuma, now there's a gap. You don't say lovud, it's within 3 tefachim. I don't extend it to attach it to the other schach. That's that's a double halach l'mishmi. Okay? So here is a tosis. Gidul chamisha b'chitza chamisha. Pish gochis im hoye chritz omo chamisha. There's a groove etched into the ground 5. V'kifu mechitza chamisha. Ein mitzdarfen lius tocha rishus hayochid. So the in a pit, if you throw something in the pit, that's not rishus hayochid. You have to have 10 within the pit itself. Okay? Kosher.
That's for liability.
But rishus hayochid, a mechitza creates rishus.
No, I know.
Well, that's the application of this.
The application wouldn't go to chumrah. If you threw something in from the rabbin into that,
Yechayev.
you'd be chayev.
So that's the chumrah. Even the chumrah. Okay? The kosher Rabbeinu Tam, the Oma b'Shabbos perk hazoret, v'per basar ervin, the borv chul yosem, it's darfim. It says the opposite. Lasora, if you have a pit and it's circumcised with a rock, we say it's mitzdarif. V'api shezeh begoiva v'zeh be'omek. Right? One is subterranean and one's above. Vod. Oba per kol agagus, behedjo, gabi shtei chatzerus. Zulama, let's say you have courtyards and like steps on the side of a mountain. So one courtyard's here, the next one's there. So it says, Yeshgudu chamisha, mechitz chamisha, on, let's say the upper courtyard has a mechitza, on the edge. So the lower courtyard, you look up, you have the wall of the courtyard dug into the mountain, and you have mechitza on top. So it says over there, then it's tarif. The mother of Chisto, P'tachtona, Hol v'ro p'nei asoro, the ma'areves, Shnayim v'lo echod. It's considered separated because you have mechitza separating this location from the other. Shlomo delin, Beis Chatzir, Zulman Mazu Ayri, Hocha. Ulegabi El Yona, Linin Eru of Kremukach, he says the other way. You know what it's being on the Torah level? Factually, it's a mechitza. You throw something in the bore, everybody agrees you're chayiv. Because if you're in the pit, we're speaking about, let's say the one on the upper level. What does he see? He himself can be ma'arev with the lower person. Okay. The lower person cannot be ma'arev with him.
Because he sees the whole.
Because he sees the full. The upper one only sees 5.
Okay.
Inami, linyatel b'shus harabim gavo chamisha hikif al gabov mechitza chamisha. Let's say you have a mound. A mound from the ground, you measure up, the mound itself is 5. And now, let's say on top of that mound, you put a wall. 5 tvachim. Now, and you throw onto that mound. From Rishus HaRabim onto the mound. You're not chayiv. Why? Because same idea. Because, no, there it's the other way. There's the other way. Because, no, there's the other way. No. Even though from the outside, it looks like 10, but what's the inner part? The inner part is only 5.
Right.
If you measure from the floor of the mound outside, the ground level, it's 10 straight up.
Yeah.
But when you threw it inside of that, where did it land? Mm-hmm. There's only 5 above. So you don't say, well, from the outside it's 10. No, you have to have an inside of 10. And there's no inside of 10. The Gemara says like this, very interesting. The Gemara says, let's say you have a situation, you have to have a mokam hanocha. Right? The mokam hanocha is 4 by 4. 4 by 4 tvachim. So you throw something, and if the top is less than 4 by 4, it's not hanochi, not chayiv. What about I have a pit, and I have something sticking out in the middle, and I throw it on top of that. So I visualize it as if it's all filled with pegs, and it's sitting on it, on top, even though factually it's not. Because over there, the whole lumdus is, if you could put a board across that, you look at the top of it. You understand? If you have 5 on top and 5 on the side, on the outside, you throw it on top, you chayiv, even though it lands on a peg. Right. So we say, you know why? Because whatever it would be if you put a board straight across and it would land on that peg, you chayiv. Yeah. That's what. So let's say the same thing here. Since factually, if you throw something on top, if you would add a board covering it. Right, you'd be chayav, even though from the inside you only see 5. So why now, when you don't have? So why are you telling me now that if you, since on top of the mound you only see 5 of it, you're not going to be chayav? But theoretically, I could create 10. When you throw from Rishus HaRabim, you're going to be chayav on top. You hear the question? Again,
I understand.
Let's talk about the. I have a mound 5. I put a thing on top. Right. If you measure from the floor inside the wall up, you only have 5. You throw some Rishus HaRabim inside, we say not chayiv. What about if I put a board across the top and I threw it and landed on top of the board? You would be chayiv. Why chayiv? Even though within you have a hollowness. The answer is because since you could create this artificial Mokum HaNocha, I see the whole thing, I measured it from the outside. So over here, why are we saying when you throw it on top, inside the walls? You're not chayav, because from the inside you only see 5. But you see, as long as theoretically I can make it into a Shusay Yochid, right, you're going to be chayav. That's his kasha. Even though they're not really comparable. I mean, Tosas answers. I think Tosas answers what I'm going to tell you. The Mayri Barochav Harbe Lo Shach Monach Alei Midi El B'Dovet Tzor. Meaning, we're talking about the mound is very wide. So if you're going to put a board across the top of the mound where you dug, it's too, you can't put a board across. So for all intents and purposes, when it lands inside, it cannot land on top.
So it is a Yachid.
What?
If it's wide, it's going to be a Yachid.
No, it's not going to be a Rosh Yochid. The Bechit's on top. No, but the wall is only 5. So it's not going to be Rosh Yochid. If you could create an artificial Rosh Yochid, theoretically putting a board across, so then you look at, even if it lands within inside, you look at a Rosh Yochid. But since over here it's so wide you can't put a board across, that's where you don't.
Would that be the distinguishing feature when you put the board across?
Well, that the Gemara says. Since theoretically I could create a Mokum HaNocha, when it lands in there, it's like it landed in Rosh Yochid. That's the Gemara. That's the Gemara quoted me.
As opposed to landing on the pole itself.
No, when it lands, even though
when it lands on the pole, I look at it as though it landed upon this broad area.
Right, but let's say it's so wide that you can't. You can't put a board straight across. It's too wide. Then you're not going to be chayiv.
It's a strange result. Okay.
See, what I would have answered is this: when it lands on a pole, the pole is above the 5, right? So I say by creating the artificial Rosh Yochid, we look at it as if the board is there. Here it didn't fall on top; it fell inside. This would be the question. This would be called Tzid Rosh Yochid. You have a case. Let's say you could reach to a certain location. Do we see that as part of Rosh Yochid? So maybe not. If it's 5 tefachim down, it's not. It didn't land Rosh Yochid. If it lands on top of the pole, since you could broaden that by putting a board across, I see that as a Mokum HaNocha. So it's like a solid mound. But if let's say it doesn't land on top, it falls inside. So where did it land? Didn't land it landed within 5, because if you measure up, you only have 5. Here, if it lands on top, if you measure from the outside, it is on top of 10. Except, what's the problem? It's not a Mokum HaNocha. So for the Hanocha, you could compensate that by putting a board across. Okay? Boy, Hilfa, Yodem Torres Lechatzoin, Oin Torres Lechatzoin. If a person, let's say, wants to wash his hands, let's say he washed first 50%, let's say up to the knuckles, then up to the wrist. Do we say that the first and second washing, it wasn't a complete washing? Or let's say he washed up to the first knuckles, then to the second knuckles. Do we mitzarif, do we combine both washings or not? Boy Yilfa, Yodaim Torres Lechatzon, Ein Torres Lechat. Hechidom, what's the... Ilay Medekam Mashu Beitrei Miravias. Normally, how much water do you need to ritualize your hands? You need a revius. Use less than a revius, it doesn't work. Are we talking about he washed both hands with one revius? Let's person went like this. So, and then one person goes and pours a revius on both hands. So we say that since each hand needs a revius, so here it's only half a revius going on each hand? Or do we say no? That since you kept your hands together, we see both hands like one hand, therefore you put a revius on both hands. Okay? Ilem de kamashu beitrei mirvius. What not mirvius notlin liyodayim. Le'achod afilu shnayim. It says you can. What's the shaila? It's an explicit Mishnah. From revius you wash hands. Le'achod even 2 people. Let's see, 2 people.
One on top of the other.
Yeah, 2 people, but it's one gush.
Right, it's one gush.
You see it as one act of washing. So what's the shaila? It's an explicit Mishnah. I know tell you right. Each one washed his hands separately. But one second. Rega. Yeah. Hanota yodo achs bin tivachs b'shtifa. Let's say a person would wash one hand, the other one, he'd put his second hand into a mikveh. Right? You have the case. El demosh chadu yodei, el de komashi chado yodei. He washed each hand separately. So he says, the Mishnah says, if you do one hand with pouring a cup of revius, and the second one you put into a mikveh. Toros. So what exactly is the shayla? Again, it's a Mishnah.
So water is dipping?
Yeah, dipping into a mikveh.
Okay.
Elu kamashi palga diyodeg, like we said, explaining. He washed up to, let's say, the first knuckles, then he poured the second on the second half. So we say that since each washing wasn't washing a hand, it was a partial hand, do we combine both washings to say now you have a full washing on a full hand? Or do we say that since each hand washed wasn't a proper washing, you can't combine two nothings to make it something? That's the shayla. Kamashi palga diyodeg. That's the case. He was learning Dvei Rabbi Yanai. Yodaim aim Torah lechatzoyim. You can't. You don't combine it. So what's Ilfa's question? It already was learned by Yanai that you don't combine washing. Now he says over here, take a look. He washed up to his knuckles. He dried his first hand, then he washed from his knuckles up to his wrist. So when the second washing took place, the first it wasn't wet.
But if you hadn't dried it,
well, that's we'll say that's the Gemara's going to say. Yeah, this. Even after you dried it, they were still damp. That if you would touch it, you'd feel the wetness. So since there's still wetness, there's still a remnant, a trace of the original washing. Is that enough to combine the second washing? Somewhere says, and if it is still damp, is that votenan? Hanitzik vakatafris umashke tofech enu chibur lo letum lo letayro. Now the two things. This is what we call tofech on latviach. Let's say something. A kid, your child. He tells you wash. You say, "Come over, I want to feel your hands." The hands could be dry, but when you touch it, you still feel a degree of moisture.
Okay.
But when you touch the hand and you touch something else, you're not going to wet something else. It's not wet enough to wet something else. Your hands don't become wet. That's called tofech almna, not almnas latviach. So if it's just tofech means nothing. So let's say you have two mikvos. Each one has 20 so. You want to combine them.
Okay.
And let's say the water that goes over the top is wet enough that if you touch it, your hand would become wet.
Okay.
That's called, you've combined them. That's called water combined too. Let's say you just feel moisture, but your finger won't even become wet enough to wet something else.
Right.
It's nothing. So that's what he's saying. If you have a flow, or you have kataf means something flowing on a what? On a diagonal. So if the hand is dry to such a degree, how could you combine the second washing with the first? It says mashke tofech is not a chibur. You can't combine the first with the second. It's wet enough that you can wet something else. Yeah, so that's the shayla.
pass on tuma.
No, which means, so let's say,
Wet enough to pass on tuma.
if you touch it, you'd wet something else.
Okay.
So that's considered a remnant of original washing.
Good.
So is that called the first original washing is there, and therefore you can...
Right.
Hanami Tirina, that's also a mission. Tvecham naslat chibur. It says it's a chibur. So what's the shayla regarding washing hands? Or says dilma linyi bekvos. That's for a mikvah. It's good enough. Dilma linyi bekvos Rabbi Yudi non mikvah sheish ba arboim so mechuvanos. You have exactly 40 so in the mikvah. V'yordu shnayim v'tovlu. Two people go in. So if it's exactly 40, one person leaves the mikvah. The second one goes in. What happens? He takes out some water on his body.
Right.
But let's say before he leaves the mikvah, he keeps his foot in the mikvah. When the second one, do we say that we see all the water on his body as if it's in the mikvah? Because that's the concept of good achis. Or no, it's going down.
Right.
Or do we say no, since physically he's out of the mikvah, that water has no relevance to the mikvah. So the second person being tovel is being tovel in the mikvah that's less than 40 so. Okay? B'zacha zeh rishon Torah v'sheni Torah. Tomei. You don't know. Im hoyu raglav shel rishon no gos b'mayim. If even the feet of the second one is still touching the water, avasheni Torah. So that's the shayla. Maybe that's only for mikvah, but for washing, maybe not. Okay, we'll stop here today.
Whoa. Wow.
Okay, I have to do your
Is
dollar.
that Ilfa's question? Have we resolved what Ilfa's question was?
Ilfa's question.
We know which case
No,
he's
that
talking about?
no. The first cases you can't be speaking about.
It must be the case where
It's
where
wet enough.
Still wet
So
enough.
it's wet enough. That we're saying.
Okay.
So that that's also a problem. It's a mishnah.
But maybe that mission only applies to me.
So it says maybe it's only mikvos, dimly mikvos.
Okay. We need to finish it up to the take good. I think.
The question is, it's interesting. The Gemara had to go through all this to come to the end, which we said right away. He washed half, then he washed the other half. Even though it's wet enough, is that called the chibur?
We combine.
And we had to go through every other case.
Right.
Two people washing, or whatever it is.
2 hands.
2 hands, or whatever it is. 1 hand in the mikveh, 1 hand in wash.